Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm glad you found it. Feel free to subscribe so you can follow up on all my other builds. Today is going to be hopefully an exciting day. I'm going to make an attempt at starting the car for the first time. The last piece of the puzzle came in the mail yesterday, which was some AN lines and this fitting right here. It's basically just giving me the return line, which we'll get underneath and you'll see what I'm talking about. I did have to order extra line because the hard line that was under the car, somebody damaged it at some point, so it was unusable. So I had to cut a lot of that line off, which then had to be replaced with the braided line, and I didn't have enough laying around, so we had to wait for the new line to come in. I know I could have picked it up locally, but it was way cheaper to buy online and just wait. So that's what I did, and that's what we're going to do now. So let's get this this fuel line hooked up, and then we'll go from there. This 5-foot section cost about 10 bucks, shipped to my door, which is not bad. I can't get this damn duct tape off the end. Wow, it's really on there. Okay, I'll call that good enough. See if we can get this on with the duct tape in the way. And they make special tools for putting this on, but here's the best way that I have found. Nice little clean area. I use the word clean very loosely. There you go, perfect. No fancy tools here. And yeah, I know they make special wrenches for AN fittings, but again, I don't care. Regular wrenches I already have, so it doesn't cost me any money. And since most of the AN fittings on my car I bought used and were all scratched up and chewed into anyways, it's not like I'm building a show car. So there we go, let's get this under the car and then we can cut it to length. I bought more than I thought I would need just to be safe, so let's head under there. Alright, here we are under the car. This is where the hard lines had to be cut. Let's see, hopefully, actually with this 45 I don't think that's going to work. Damn. Oh well. There we go, that's out of the way. I can use this for something else I actually have to get done today. So we'll get the this guy tightened up here. Alright, so that'll take care of that. See here, probably reroute this a little differently, but essentially I left a bunch of slack here so this could just dangle for now. It'll get mounted up when the axle's out, because I'm going to be doing some work that's going to be a lot easier to do with the axle out, which is welding all of the torque boxes and then also putting in a battle box kit just to brace up the rear end so I don't have to worry about ripping anything out. And then that's also why the brake line here is just dangling. No reason to hook it up and bleed the brakes if I'm just going to pull the rear end right back out. So we'll get to that in the not too distant future, but right now we're just trying to get the car started. Let me get this rerouted so it's on the other side of the brake line. That'll make it a lot easier. And then we'll head up into the trunk to make the final connection. Okay, now we got this coming up through the floor. Leave a little slack on there. Really like this nylon braided stuff. It doesn't fray quite as easily as the steel braided stuff, and you don't get poked in the fingers constantly. That steel stuff hurts. I'm going to jam this on there, find a hose clamp, and then we'll keep moving on. Alright, got the fitting on, and just like all fun things in life, all it took was a little persuasion and a whole bunch of lube. So let me just tighten up this clamp and then you can call the fuel system done. Well, with the exception of the fuel level sender, but that's not real high on my priority list. All right. All right. That's going to be good to go. Never leave home without it. Alright, well, here goes everything or nothing. Not sure how you want to look at it, but I've already turned on the power, cranked the motor over for a little bit, just to try to get some oil flowing, because the remote oil filter hasn't had any oil through the lines just yet. Which I'll show you actually real quick, because I haven't shown that in any other videos. Let's give me this guy right here. So all these lines were obviously dry. Want to make sure there was some oil in it, as well as some oil in the turbo lines, the feed lines. So at this point, I'm going to turn on the ignition system. And actually, there's no point. There's no gasoline in the car. I just realized that tank is completely dry. Let me fill it up and I'll come right back. All right, now that there's gas in it, let's see if we can build a little fuel pressure. Yep, well, we're pumping fuel. You can hear the load on the pump. So, just doing a quick check, making sure I don't have any leaks. Got the battery tender on the battery because I don't have an alternator hooked up. Ooh, shit, I'm leaking bad. Whoops, let's shut it off. Alright, let's figure out what this problem is, and then, wow, I'm leaking in a bunch of places. Alright, well, let's get this taken care of. Better find out now than later. Alright, after attempting to find all the leaks, I found 4. One of them is going to be, well, it's not this fitting, this is the replacement fitting, but this one was leaking right here at one of the, I think like an O-ring that allows them to swivel. I think it just dry rotted and went bad, so this fitting replaced the old one, and then this is the spare that I had laying around. So
Hopefully this will take care of that leak. Leak number 2 was this guy right here at the filler neck. This hose clamp is, every time when you tighten it down, it basically, it would skip a tooth when you got, you know, so tight. So I found this one where I was able to tighten it down, no problem. If this ends up solving my problem, I'll still probably end up going and buying a T-bolt clamp, because then you can tighten it down all day long and it's never gonna skip a tooth or fail on you. So much stronger, should only cost a couple dollars. And then I found 2 other leaks, which I feel stupid. With both of these fittings right here, I had basically just made them finger tight. Neither of them were tight where the AN line attaches to the compression fitting. So I had you know, obviously fuel puking out of both of those. So now I'm thinking I got it. So we're gonna go ahead and put some gasoline back in the tank, since I had to drain it all out. Otherwise I'd have it raining down on me as I was doing this work. And then after that, we'll see if we can fill up the fuel system with pressure. And oof, yeah, you can see how much, I mean, some of this is oil, but lost a bunch of fuel. But hopefully this takes care of the problem. We can get the car started. So let me get the car back on the ground and put some fuel in it, and then we'll try to start it, or at least pressurize the fuel system again. All right, well, I poured maybe 1.5 gallons in, and it's still leaking. So now I'm starting to think it's not the AN line, because the second different AN line to attach at this exact location, and it's clearly leaking. So I can't get it any tighter. I've already checked. If I go any tighter, I'm going to damage something. So that's going to have to be addressed. But at the very least, I can pressurize the fuel system and check to see if the other leaks that I had have been fixed. So let's go ahead and turn on the fuel pump before I drain the tank back out. Let's see. Damn it. Nope. Well, I'm gonna have to either put the car back down on the ground or put a ton more fuel in it. Don't really want to do either, to be quite honest. But I guess I'll just put it back on the ground for a minute, do what I got to do, and then got to put it back up in the air to drain it out. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, car's back down on the ground. It's still dripping from the fuel tank in that one spot, but I was just running the pump. Had fuel pressure up front, no leaks anywhere else. I didn't have any leaks at the filler neck, so that hose clamp is doing its job. I think I have dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's. We're gonna find out real quick if I didn't. So I guess it's just a matter of cranking it over and see what happens. So let's go ahead. Power, fuel, ignition. There we go. Oh man, that definitely lowered my stress a whole lot. Oh god, I mean, it ran like garbage, but considering, you know, I got no O2 sensor, well, O2 sensor wouldn't be doing anything at this point anyways. It's still cold, but the main thing is, you know, it started. The issue, I think, that with the rough idle is I probably have a vacuum leak. This is a vacuum cap that I made out of electrical tape. Where did that other one go? Here's another vacuum cap I made out of a screw. And then
there's no piping on the throttle body. You know, oh wait, here we go. Here's a fucking busted vacuum cap. So I'm sure that's not helping the idle. But the last time the car ran, it had a maze of plumbing in front of it, in front of the throttle body. So all of that adds resistance. You know, the engine had to draw air through all that piping, because, you know, obviously when the car's idling, the turbos aren't really doing anything. So the you know, the engine had to use vacuum to do that job. So that would explain the rough idle. It's probably lean as hell without the piping, and with this big old vacuum leak, it's sucking in plenty of air, but the tune's not giving it any extra fuel. So it's just a matter of fixing those minor little things, hooking up the computer, and then it's going to idle great. The O2 bung has already been welded in. I just have to put the O2 sensor in. But if everything goes according to plan, tomorrow Belfab is going to come pick up the car, and they're going to do the cold side piping for me. They're also going to readjust the seat, because at the time when they mounted the seat for me, they used basically a stand-in, a surrogate for lack of a better word. And because he was the same height as me, or pretty close to it, they thought that would be good enough. Well, it wasn't even close. Once I got the pedal hooked up, the brake pedal, I tried sitting in it, and with the steering wheel in place, I'd go to put my foot, you know, on the gas, and then I'd take my foot off the gas, go to put my foot on the brake pedal, and I couldn't, because my knee would hit the back of the steering wheel before I could lift my foot high enough to actually get on top of the brake pedal. So that's going to be dangerous, not going to work. So they're going to have to slide the seat back a little bit for me. The height is good, but the distance, it's got to change. It's way too close. But now that it's running, let me go ahead and drain the fuel tank, because obviously we can't let it drip 2 gallons of gasoline overnight into my garage floor. So hope you guys liked that video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll get some more work done on the car, and then hopefully we'll be on the road soon. Anyways, have a good one.